17-18 budget had it, showed it as a revenue.
I didn't bring my budget materials with me, so I can't answer your question.
So I think we need to get some, a little bit more,
Why don't you put things down in your own words and copy the board, that way.
well, I don't know if anybody else saw that, but I mean, I saw the transfer, it was in the budget for next year. That money was transferred from Chartwell to the budget to offset the budget, but we don't typically report this as revenue in this current budget. So, we've always been discussing this, and then I just want to bring that up again, that we're, this really is a revenue-generated account.
But, just so that there's no translation between what you're saying here and what Bob's writing down, why don't you put together all your questions for Jane and just copy it?
Yep, I've given her some of my questions already, but just for the board's edification, since we meet
Right.
once a month,
Right.
I'm just bringing it up.
No,
for the
I
whole
appreciate
board's
that, but
attention.
I just suggested maybe writing it down so that.
One other question.
Rich?
We have a list of priority maintenance items that can be done at the end of the year. If we have a list of 40-something thousand.
List of places where we'll expend funds, and should there be anything left over at the end of the year? Yes, and we're in the process of refining and developing that. And just,
Okay. Are there any other questions on the budget status report? Okay, well, I guess there's no presentation, so we can go on to reports. Committees, athletic and extracurricular activities,
We did not meet since the last time.
okay. Building,
Our last meeting was March 16th. I think we had one after that, for the ADA, but March 16th was our last meeting. A lot of it was conversations we've had tonight, traffic pattern, status is with, as the superintendent has already referred to, is being worked. ADA projects, we talked about, that's being worked. Softball field and multi-purpose field extension project is, proposed project is being looked at. Actually, that's going to be moved over to athletics. And capital budget we discussed. We presented that to the full board for moving forward with our capital requirements, which we had a lot of deliberation on, but we agreed on a number. Library furniture grant update was discussed. I think that's still ongoing. Student parking we talked about tonight. Middle school stairs update, we're still working on that. And that's pretty much it. We meet tomorrow night for our next meeting at 7 o'clock.
communications and technology.
Can we get an update on the building part of that for the ADA? Where we're at?
We met with the architect / engineer to design the project. We have another meeting scheduled, I think, and I checked my calendar, for around the 25th of the month, where he's been given some preliminary direction, and he's supposed to come back with a phase plan. I presented a timetable to the committee, and I regret I don't have it with me today. But the idea is to get the project going as quickly as possible. One of the good things is that through study, we found out that we don't have to put a platform in for additional wheelchairs, because the bleachers accommodate a sufficient number of wheelchairs.
So the money that we've set aside for that and the capital fund will cover everything we need for the 17-18?
That's what we were told. Unless something strange is found when they're digging, I think we should be all set. you know, maybe a body or something.
Do you have any questions? Okay, communications and technology? Sue?
I don't know if we met, I wasn't there, and I don't see the meeting minutes out there.
Jane?
You didn't, you want me to read the minutes? Yeah, oh, yeah, mine, because I can't find them online.
I forwarded them, I don't think I,
Oh, okay.
well, anyway, highlights, let's see. We met Thursday, March 21st, and we had some discussions about the two budgets and how to present them, but at that time it was very difficult because we didn't know what we were presenting and we didn't know what the towns were going to be doing. But we did set up a budget presentation for Dr. Szymanski at the Hebron Board of Finance, and following that would be the Marlborough Board of Finance presentation, which is Tuesday, March 28th at 7 p.m. And Marlborough Senior Center was a mini breakfast that was held on April 5th. And we have upcoming Andover Board of Finance. Have you met with them? Is it Board of Finance?
No,
in
this-
Andover? That was upcoming.
That's upcoming. As is with the Andover Senior Citizens.
Okay, so those are upcoming, but Bob has been meeting with them along with Board of Education members who are available at the time to try to explain the budget. And it's not an easy task because of the way things are with the state. I think you all are very well aware of that. And let's see, we also reviewed a draft of a handout, a booklet on the budget, and I think we'll probably be reviewing that tomorrow night. We have a meeting tomorrow.
We have a draft of it, we'll be reviewing it tomorrow night, and I would also note that we're going to have a community conversation on the budget on Wednesday night, 6:30, High School Media Center. Anybody who's got any questions on the budget, please come. Just a way of outreaching to the community.
Okay. And beyond that, we had a discussion on reviewing the Sachem mascot, and we decided that an updated Sachem design could reflect Rham's new strategic plan and be part of the updated vision to be developed this spring. And it should be part of BOE's conversation at that time with our new superintendent. So we tabled that until that point in time. And that's it.
Facilities.
We just did that.
Sorry. Well, you did
You
building.
said building.
Building. For some reason, it's listed separately here, building facilities.
It's all the same.
But you did it all.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Finance audit, compliance, insurance? Did we? Did we do that? Okay. Negotiations?
We didn't,
I want to say that in executive session.
Policy, did we meet? A lot of the, these meetings have been jockeyed around with some of the other meetings that we have, budget and superintendent meetings, and program business.
We did,
Did?
yep, we had a presentation by Gary Deneen, who's the media specialist. That's her title, media specialist. Okay, well, it was a very, very, very informative meeting, and I can't think of anyone that's more busy than she is right now on bringing all this one-to-one, bringing the media center up to standards now with this. Working with working with Warren a lot on, and working with all the teachers and both training them, helping them finding material, online material, going to the classrooms. Something I would say that the board will have to think about in the near future of getting more support in that area. She works technically in the high school, but she's doing a lot of work for both middle school.
She works in the middle school as well. She's our instructional technology specialist also, and she has
acts as an instructional technology coach. She goes into classrooms and works with the teams in the middle school and with the departments.
Anyway, she had a great presentation and lots of stuff going on in that area. And now there's a new standard that they're looking at following, ISTE, and I cannot find anywhere on the website what that stands for. So, new standards that we're be following. It's all to do with technology and education and all that. That was it.
Facilitators, Education Foundation did not meet. Judy is not here for East Connor Cade. Anybody have any takes on that? Okay. Since Danny's not here, I don't have anything for the chair report. Student.
The only thing I have to say is, I know there's a question like, are they still giving out parking passes? I just want to say that I know that they are, because my friend just got them today, so I just want to comment on that, yeah.
Anything upcoming?
There's nothing really big upcoming, no.
Graduation.
Oh yeah, graduation, I think there's actually a lot of excitement for it, for the seniors, and I know that there's a lot of planning going on for it, yeah.
Comment on graduation. The date, which happens to be a Saturday. How do we determine? I gotta ask Scott or you. I mean, how?
Well, I think we
Saturday-
both can answer your question. One of the things that we wanted to avoid is carrying graduation over until Monday. We wanted to be sure that the students graduated as close to the last day of school as possible. And it was, some of it was out of concern for safety for the students. Project graduation had to be considered. And I think that those are some of the reasons we looked at. Scott, do you have any additions?
No, that's pretty much it. We did get some requests from students and parents that if with graduation moving to Monday, if there's any way that it can move to Saturday. Obviously, we didn't disturb anything, but that was some of the feedback we came back with.
Is this the first year it's ever been on a Saturday?
It would be,
First
yeah,
time?
this would be the first time I've ever been, yeah.
I'd like to give you my formal complaint. Because we have a wedding, unfortunately, that day, but I know I'm just curious, my wife actually asked me, how do they determine a Saturday? You know, why can't we do it on Friday, as like in a weekend? Is there a reason why?
We have to graduate students on the 180th day. And if you want to read an interesting document, go to the State Department of Education website, a circular letter from then Commissioner Sergi talking about the value of a 180-day school year. And we're locked into that 180 days. And there isn't any way we can have graduation away from that 180th day. The balance of the students will be coming back on Monday for makeup exams. So that's how the balance of the student body will be completing their requirements for graduation, for the academic year, rather, I'm sorry.
I was going to question that because on the high school schedule, it does show exams on Monday.
Yes, actually, with the state, and to answer your question, Joe, we could not hold it on Friday because that would not be the 180th day. The state allows if you hold graduation on the 180th day, and that 180th day for seniors could be Saturday, Sunday, or that Monday. The state considers that if they come to school for graduation, they consider that 180th day. The rest of the students do have Monday as a 180th day, so the last day of school is still Monday. So that we would have scheduled on, the seniors take their exams early in order to allow for graduation rehearsal. And the rest of the student body still has exams, like on that Monday, we would have the 8th period exam and a makeup exam. Seniors will have been finished, obviously, by then. They better be finished.
I thought they were finished already.
They graduated. Some would say yes. So the only options we had were Saturday, Sunday, or Monday in terms of the graduation day.
So the buses are gonna be filled on Monday?
Filled with air some days. But even that last, even if you have a regular day, it would be a pretty sparsely attended, because you really just have students who are taking an 8th period exam or make.
And so go back to Monday, what was the reason why we didn't do it on Monday?
I know Bob can speak to the expense piece, I know that that's something that.
There are two things. Number one, the safety and the expense of renting the chairs, the podiums and everything, because we'd have to set them up on Friday, we'd have to carry them through the weekend.
So if you did it on Monday, it would be the.
Well, they'd have to be set up for Monday morning, so that would require overtime to set them up either on Saturday or Sunday, and that we'd have to pay back to the crew that sets them up. Because don't forget, the chairs, the platforms are all rented.
Go ahead.
And 8th grade is on Friday, right? 8th grade graduation's Friday, correct?
Right.
So that's the other thing, you have another school.
But they've always been that way. They've had the 8th grade in the morning, and then in the evening, it's been the seniors.
Well, even the 8th grade, right, the hour, the time got changed for the middle school?
We're looking at working that out. I've met today with Officer Fitzgibbons and Martinez, because we just want to be sure that there aren't any traffic issues. We're looking at the possibility of having it early in the morning at 8 o'clock, as it's traditionally been had, or to have it at 10:30. So it's a question of, we've got two groups coming into school together, so we want to be sure that the groups don't bump into each other and create a big traffic jam. So that's why we're looking at the time of graduation for the middle school promotion.
How's that different than any others?
8 o'clock is the same as it's been in the past.
So why are we looking at 10:30 this year?
Just because of having the high school graduation and the need for rehearsal. So I just wanted to be sure before we did anything that we were able to maintain tradition as much as possible and didn't create any hardships as far as traffic. Because if you look at once middle school graduation is completed, the high school seniors come in for graduation rehearsal, and they're there to, it's the first outdoor rehearsal. They then receive their gowns for graduation, satisfying any outstanding obligations. So we wanted to be sure that we weren't sure the amount of time that would take, and we didn't want the parents and the seniors creating a traffic jam on Wall Street and in the area of the school.
Yeah, I guess I'm not following, because if you left it at 8 o'clock as normal, I don't see how that's going to create any more issue than normal.
It was just with, if you would recall, at the last meeting, we were talking about middle school promotion at either 10 or 10:30, and that ended up creating some problems, so we took it back to the drawing board and reviewing it. And some of the factors that you mentioned now are the factors that we were looking at, and we'll be scheduling it accordingly.
Manny, I think Dr. Ceruzzi has a comment.
Yeah, part of our issue for the 10:30 was we have an exam that last day. The 8th graders have to take a Algebra 1 test or a world language test. So we're trying to figure out how all that's going to work.
But you have to come in on Saturday, Mike.
Well, they could. I'm not so sure about all the staff will come on Saturday.
Yeah. Right.
Well, what time is the exam?
Uh,
What time is the exam?
The middle school exams usually start at 7:30, and they go for till about 9:30.
All right.
So so we've already, what was our original date for graduation?
I'm sorry, I don't have the calendar with me. It was probably, I think Wednesday or Thursday of the preceding week.
And we pushed it off because of snow days?
That's correct.
Okay, so item number 8, action items.
I just want to make a comment on the minutes. They're very long. I started order to go through them, there's like 40 pages, because I think it encompasses all of our budget minutes as well, all those meetings, and I started through it, but I thought, I'm probably not the only one who was having difficulty. I was wondering if we could possibly table them for the next meeting, or maybe just for the first minutes from the previous meeting and then table the rest. Because I know I haven't had time to go through them. Anyone else?
Anybody else have an issue with it? Did everybody get through them?
So I would have to abstain.
No, I'm ready to move.
I'm good either way. I have read them, but I respect that they are long, definitely.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as read.
Any second? All in favor?
Okay,
Discussion?
yeah, I think it's hard to approve some 40 pages without having, any comments at all. That's surprising. That's all.
Any other comments? Discussion?
Who seconded that motion? Sorry.
Rich.
All right, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes? Make that one. Closed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. 8.2, personnel actions. Do we have leave of absence? Do we vote on those?
You can vote on them as a group.
Okay, so we have leave of absence of Byers, 8.2A, resignation of Paul Anthony, 8.2B, resignation of CUNY, 8.2C, resignation of Mahoney, 8.2D, resignation of Sandstrom, 8.2E, and a non-renewal of Schrager, 8.2F. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Rich makes a motion to approve personnel actions. Second? Second by Joe. Any discussion?
Just what subject is Schrager?
His termination was a result of the budgetary action, and state statute says I have to do it by May 1st. I met with him and, informed him of his rights of recall and all the rights that were due him. But remember, his is not for performance, it's strictly budgetary. And that's why we noted it in the minutes that way.
And just what subject?
Physical education.
Any other questions? Discussion? All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Reports. Reports to receive the following documents. Student activity report, 8.3A, 2016-17 budget status report, 5.7 above. Cafeteria report, 8.3B, curriculum instruction assessment and instructional technology report, 8.3C, the discipline report, 8.3D, and the special education report, 8.3E. We have a motion to approve the documents.
So moved.
Joe, second? Rich, discussion?
Just one question on the, I want to record name, can we make sure that we start including some of that technology aspect of it that Gina talked about?
Sure. Usually it is. Whatever we've done that month will be, yeah.
Any other discussion? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the reports? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 8.4, we already reaffirmed the motion to authorize refinancing the bonds. So the next item would be item 9, calendar of events.
church's plans for next year? On the use of building, did you talk to the church next year?
What we did is we factored in we used an average. We haven't had a chance to sit down with them specifically, but we feel comfortable with the number we've got in the budget so far.
And I'm assuming that we still have back some money owed to us. We're short of like 25,000, something like that.
Well, what we do with the rental of buildings is, it's interesting. In another maybe 3 weeks, every dance school in the area will have a recital here at the auditorium. And if you remember, some of them go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's where the bulk of our money is made.
You have a gymnastics meet here again?
Say that again?
Is the gymnastics meet here again?
I'm not sure. I think it is. I'm not sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I saw him come in the building, so I'm assuming.
Any other questions regarding the building? Okay, item number 10, public comments. Does anybody have any comments from the public? Yes.
Mr. Shea Marlboro, Board of Selectmen member, speaking as an individual. Just a few things, the handling of the DOT grant on the campus, I guess you call it parking and transportation and roads and bridges program. It makes me a little bit nervous that it seems to be getting away from the school and headed toward the town as far as its management. I hope that we have mechanisms in place so what is best for the school is what gets done. I don't think anybody's going to purposely head in the opposite direction, but there's just a natural tendency, if you're calling the shots, to put things that you favor first. Secondly, sticking on the subject of parking for a minute, it's probably an oversimplified cure, but I wonder if the town of Hebron would be willing to put, say, a 4-hour limit on parking in veterans' parking spots, in which case students simply couldn't use them without the risk of being towed. And that would be the end of that problem. And thirdly, I hate to crowd about this, but you're going to hear it all the time. For Marlboro, for my town, the 3.99% budget, because of the shift in population, becomes a 6.51% increase. And right now, we are looking at an overall budget increase of about 7%, without allowing for Governor Malloy's plans for us to pay for retirement benefits for the teachers. So I think that's going to get knocked down. And I'm going to do my best to knock it down, so no hard feelings, please, at normal times. I think your budget is a reasonable one, but these just aren't normal times. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have one. Joe O'Connor, Hebron. I am disappointed that, asking about the graduation, I've heard from a lot of other people. First time, that's why I asked the question, Saturday graduation, you know, people have already made other plans, and there has to be a better option than Saturday. You know, I don't know the law with 180 days. Saturday at 6 o'clock, it sounds like, you know, we have a graduation on Friday. It's always been for the middle school. Why are we switching gears, not doing it Friday night or Monday? You know, I don't know you know, I've heard some of the reasoning, but I just don't think it's a justifiable reason to have it on a weekend. You know, typically graduations Saturdays are for colleges, universities. So I would hope that we'd have, you know, maybe there should have been a survey that gone out to the parents and asked for their input, because you know, we had a defined date, whatever that date was. It's been this way for many, many years. I've never been impacted until this year, because I have a daughter who's a senior graduating, so it is a factor for us. My wife and I, and her grandparents, and so forth. I just just don't understand it, you know, and it doesn't make sense that we have the cost aspect of it. It's chairs. There has to be some other drivers. I don't know what the cost delta is, but a weekend graduation just doesn't sit well. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Any other comments? Okay, we need to go into executive session. Do I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss and possible action regarding collective bargaining for non-certified staff litigation? For a second? All in favor? Okay, we take a 5-minute break before we